I'm knowing all are doing well today. And I'm so thankful to be able to come to you today. Hello Sabrina, how you doing? Thank you so much for joining in. So the topic that I want to talk about is something that's really been coming up an awful lot in the audiences here. Hi Bimmers, how you doing? Thank you so much for tuning in. It's about, who are the angels? And are the angels demonic power? I mean, what is this that I keep talking about? Hello, Positivity Fabulous. It's so great to have you. So the angels are the messengers of God. Think of them as sort of like the communication between us and God. For some people, the idea or the concept of God is just too large, too huge, not intimate enough for us to connect with. So the angels are a realm of energy that can go between us and God, can give the messages that we have to God, give the messages that God has back to us. Hey, Makeup Maniac, how you doing today? So I really want to talk about, what this is. Now, I live in the Deep South, and I put my location on whenever I do a scope, which is, hey Goddess Cortex, okay? So I live in the Deep South, and, I put my location on when I do Periscopes, which is a little bit, of a bold move, but I know that I'm completely protected, because, hey, how you doing? There are probably more churches than there are convenience stores. So, and most of the churches here in the Deep South, they tend to kind of knock us over the head with the Bible. I'm gay, and so for years I've had that, that very much that knocking over the head with the Bible of, how, we were bringing the whole destruction of the world and all that kind of great stuff, that we've been told. So I get asked that question a lot on here on Periscope, especially from local people. Is this demonic power? Is this, is this evil? And I even last night had somebody trying to cast the demons out of me last night, which I thought was just kind of fun, because it's so interesting how people will bring up the name of Jesus and then they step right into fear, which Jesus was never about fear. He was never about condemnation. He was never about judgment or shame. In fact, he was the one that said, Charleston Savannah, oh, cool. He always told people that, he without sin, be the first to cast the stone. So he was always talking about how we should not come from a place of judgment. And in fact, thou shalt not judge is one of the 10 commandments, but not thou shalt not be gay. So it's really interesting. Oh, cool. Alrighty, so what I really want to speak to is how you know the difference between, angelic power and demonic power. Well, it's the difference in, I always kind of bring it back to the circuit or the Supreme Court judge. I know this may be a little bit off color, but he said he didn't know how to define what porn was, but he knew it when he saw it. It's the same with love. It can be a little bit difficult to define love, but you know it when you see it. Hi, Morningstar, how's it going? And that is just the basic, easiest way to tell which is angelic power and which is demonic power. I always like to say, if it feels icky, it is icky. If it feels like love, it is love. And angelic power always comes from love. I think back to, I went recently to the doctor just for kind of a checkup. I'm 52, I'm supposed to go every now and then, right? It was really kind of interesting because when I went to the doctor's office, he asked me, he was like, so why are you here? I guess because most people go to the doctor because they're sick, and I thought, well, I haven't seen him in 2 years, I guess I should go, right? So he was asking about my running because he knew that I ran. And I told him that it had become less of an exercise for me and more of a spiritual experience. And so he started asking me all these questions. About halfway through, I thought, he thinks I'm crazy. So I started, telling him about my experience, about how it just was a way for me to connect to nature, to really, feel. I would get, ideas and things would just come to me, and the angels would talk to me. Hi, how you doing, sweetheart? It's so good to see you. And one of his last questions to me was, what type of messages did I get? Was I ever told to do anything? And I told him that the messages always came to me wrapped in an envelope of love. And when he heard that, he just kind of let it go, and he realized that all was okay. So he understood that part. So, if you look at the different passages in the Bible where Jesus, for instance, cast demons out of people, they always came in this guise of fear. And they definitely feared, Jesus and his power as God. And so they knew, their stance. They knew where they were. Now, the angels never, hi, how you doing, Juicy Lee? Never came in that stance. They always come in a stance of proclaiming and love and calling forth and being of service. So that's really the most basic way for me to really explain, how to know whether you're talking about, angelic power or demonic power. Hi, how you doing, sweetheart? Do I belong to you? I love it. So it's so much about, just knowing where that power comes from, and to realize, how it kind of works. So, we're here on the human plane, and then there's the angels, and then there's God, and angels are kind of they're the messengers of God. They're the way that we connect. Now you can connect directly to God, whether God to you is the universe, Jesus, the universal Godhead, Source, Allah, Buddha. It's something that's more man-made out of sphere than something real. Well, there are negative energies, Makeup Maniac, but the idea is that just like a radio dial, you can choose the frequency that you're on. It's kind of like I was explaining. Somebody was asking me last night, how do you stay, if fear or if demonic power is there, how do you stay out of it? And I said, let's take the concept of, if you have like two ramps that you want to go on, and one is flooded and one isn't. If you take the top ramp, you're not gonna ever be anywhere near the flood. Although the flood is there, it doesn't affect you because you're on that higher plane. If you go on a lower plane, of course you're gonna get flooded. So it's that idea of yes, it's there, and the frequencies are out there, but your radio never pulls in those other frequencies when you're tuned in to the frequency that you want to pull in. So it's whatever frequency you go on. I know that every now and then I'm one of the very few intuitives that is willing to go into negative energy, only if it will help somebody as an angel of light. Well, but he cannot come in a space of love, and that's the one thing. He can try, he can try, but he can never come through in a space of love. Period. Point blank. That's where I'm going to stand. That's my viewpoint. That's the way I believe. Truly, truly, truly. I mean, because God, that's really, if you think about it, that's really coming from a space of fear, because God is all that is. God has empowered us, to be these wonderful beings of light. We are part of God. God is part of us, and we are part of God. The gospel receive him not. Okay. Well, it's whatever, but we can toss back and forth Bible verses all day long, but the basic premises of it is, if it comes from love, if it feels like love, it is love. Because Satan, demons, however you term it, can never come to you out of a space of love. They just can't. It's not possible. Now, of course, everything comes from love at the outside of it, but things can get twisted and come, in a different way. So if things come to you in judgment or shame or fear or worry or anxiety or despair, that's not coming from angelic power. The angels will always come to you with messages of love, to uplift you, to bring you out, to bring you joy, to bring you peace, to bring you tranquility. That is angelic power. That is angelic power. You can try putting, sheep's clothing on a dog all day long if you want to, but it's still going to act like a dog. That's just the simple truth of it. So it's just being able to, recognize, that's why it's so important to actually realize that the body, mind, spirit that we live in is this wonderful, fantastic mechanism that has been created for us by the divine, so that we can recognize, where we are and the messages that we're getting. Basically the reason that joy and peace and tranquility and happiness feel so good is because that's the way we're supposed to feel. And fear and anxiety and despair and worry, they don't feel good because that's not the way we're supposed to feel. You know what I mean? Why would God create this gorgeous earth that we live on with all the colors and all the flowers and the fauna and waterfalls and beautiful moonscapes and suns and planets for us to look at? Why would he create this wonderful thing if it wasn't for us to enjoy and wasn't for us to be in joy and to have joy? It doesn't make any other sense any other way. And so it's just about how you tune in. It's about what you focus upon is what comes into your life, and that's absolutely the truth. Jesus was always telling us, that we had the power. We had the power to call forth whatever we wanted. We also had the power to banish whatever we didn't want. We have that power. And he said, if we had the faith of the mustard seed, I think you're going rather further than the social spiritual quote, learning from. Oh, cool. And this is a spiritual journey for me as well, because I've been getting a lot of people that have been asking me these questions on Periscope, and I'm not one to shrink. I'm not a shrinking violet for sure. I am one that, I call upon the power of the angels. And I told them last night, I was like, if this is coming forth, this is coming forth for a reason. And I'm not going to be a shrinking violet, and I'm not going to step back, because I know the true space that we can stand in when we stand in that space of love with angelic power. It's the truth. It's the way it is. Now, all I can do is talk from my experience. And I want to say, for one thing for sure, take anything anybody's, including me, that we say with a grain of salt. You have to see, does this resonate with me? Is this my truth? Because all I can do to you is I can speak my truth. That's all I can do. The truth, as I see it, from my own experience. My stance on Jesus, I think he was a wonderful prophet. I come from sort of a quasi Christian background. I mean, my family was not church going. Well, I guess they kind of sort of did, but it was more of a social thing. So I did get saved when I was, I think I was around 11 years old. I mean, I certainly accept Jesus, but I don't stand in a space where I think that other religions don't have validity. For me, it's more about having a direct spiritual connection, and that's the one issue I would say that I have with some religions, and that is that they try to be your spiritual connection. Never contradict God's word. That's absolutely true. Now, just a caveat to that is that it also depends on how you interpret God's word. So just want to make sure that you're careful with that, because there's an awful lot of verses, there's an awful lot of books that never made it into the Bible. So that's a whole nother topic we really don't even want to get into, I'm sure, because I mean, I have actually read the Bible through 5 times myself. So I would say that is, kind of a little bit of my bailiwick of where I've kind of started, my whole spiritual journey at. Perspective is absolutely everything. And just the one thing to, there's no reason for any of us to really worry about the semantics of it, because it's not our stance to really judge another person. It even says, that it's going to be up to God to bring his judgment. So that is not our call. Our call is just to love, and to express love, and have love for ourselves and love for others. If we think it's our position to cast judgment or shame upon another, we're stepping outside of the bounds of love, and that's just not our calling to do. If you take care of yourself and you love, everything else is going to wash out and take care of itself. So it's, and you can't argue anyone into, having faith. All you can do is you can be the light. You can be the light, and okay, that's great. But all you can do is be the light and attract others to you. When you start condemning others and that type of thing, all that's going to do is just push people away. Friend, if your true goal is to bring people into the light, bring people to Jesus or whatever your modality is of spiritualism, then it's all about showing people that you can live in that space, in moment to moment, day to day. And that's what's going to draw people in. I know people that have come to me and just kind of like, bashed me over the head with the Bible and been like, when you come into church, those are the people I ran from, because they really kind of come from a space of lack. They come from a space of, in order for me to feel better about my religion, I have to get you to join. Well, if you can stand in your space of how you are, spiritually speaking, and show love, then others will just naturally flow to you. Because it's not about your effort. It's not about your effort to get people to, believe like you do. It's about you standing in your space and showing your joy and your peace and your love. And if people resonate with you, they resonate with you. If they don't resonate with you, they don't resonate with you. That's right. That's right. Bring the joy back, babies. That's what I'm talking about. That's it, girl. You got it. It's all about joy. Like I always tell everybody, I want you to step into joy. I want you to take inspired action. And I want you to walk in faith. Because that's where it's all about. That's what it's all about. If you truly read through the Bible and look for the hidden verses, it's all about joy and it's all about love. That's what it's all about. And so I've talked about it before, but if you want to know about what maybe inspired action is about, it's so much about being already in movement and then waiting for that inspiration of just that thought that makes you feel kind of giddy and sounds kind of like fun of, well, let me go try this. It sounds kind of playful. It may not be anything that has anything in your mind to do with what you want to do, but you'll be so surprised when you go make that phone call you're inspired to make, or do you believe it's the only way to eternal life? Wow, that's a whole other topic. I'm not really sure. I'm just not comfortable with saying that other religions are not valid. So I'm not really gonna. I think that's really up to each person's own own spiritual walk. That's what I'm going to say. I just believe that's up to your own spiritual walk, and that's what I'm going to say on that. I know that every major religion speaks of the angels, and the angels are involved in every single religion. I don't worship the angels at all. I'd simply use them as guidance. And you need more joy in your life, right? And that's that's the one thing for Shepherd Boy. Just make sure you're coming from a space of and I'm sending out great love, and I do not at all mind you asking the questions. I really don't. It's just that for me, I want to make sure that because to me, it's not about what religion you're in, what I mean, or anything like that. It's about you having joy and peace and love in your life. And if you have, I know that if you step into joy and if you feel the love, then you are going to find the path that's right for you. That's what I know. So if Jesus is the way and you step into joy, then you're just going to naturally go to Jesus. There's not going to be any effort about it. There's not. So that's just what I'm going to say. That's my stance, because it's how your journey is as to what your destination is. If you're not happy along the way, you're not going to be happy when you get there. And so, Jesus was very much about taking that daily walk, about calling forth the things that you desired, about focusing on the things that you wanted, about being the master in your life, about bringing health to people. He was very much a healer. He was very much about taking care of the needy and feeding the hungry and taking care of himself too. I mean, let's not forget that Jesus actually had a person that took care of his finances for him. So he had, there's pleasure in sin for a season. Well, it depends on what you think of as sin. There's so many things that are wrapped up into the word sin. So, that's a whole nother thing. The angels think of, maybe I'll make that a topic for another day, because that's like a whole big subject. What I want for you, Shepherd Boy, is I want you to have joy, and I want you to have peace, and I want you to have love, and I want you to know that it's not all up to you to bring everybody to Jesus. If Jesus is your way, I celebrate that, and I think that's fantastic. If he brings you joy and peace and love, I think that is magnificent, and I am so excited, not for you, but with you. I'm excited with you in that journey. I just want you to be that light, and then people will be drawn to you just naturally, and they're going to say, what makes you so happy? What makes you so joyful? What has you send out so much love in your everyday life? And then you get to tell your story, and that's going to be so exciting. Instead of, so I just want to make sure you come from that stance, because it can be really kind of a hard row to hoe, when you're trying to convince people or argue people, into eternal life through Jesus, and that it can be, and that's I don't really believe that's a stance that Jesus really wants for you. Jesus really wants for you to be joyful. God wants you to be joyful. The angels want you to be joyful. That's why feeling joyful feels so darn good, because that's what you're supposed to do. So that's really kind of where I'd like for if possible, I'd like to see you come from. Just because, friend, I want you to be joyful. I want you to have love. I want you to have peace in your life. That's what I truly, truly want for you. Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. I love every single one of you so much, including you, Shepherd Boy. Love you too, honestly. And I'm so thankful for for even just having the for being able to express yourself however you express yourself. So I have no issue whatsoever with anybody. I don't expect everybody to take everything I say hook, line, and sinker. In fact, I don't want you to take everything I say hook, line, and sinker. I want you to if it resonates with you, to listen to what I have to say and know that it is my experience, my personal experience. If it resonates with you, great. If it doesn't resonate with you, great. I'm sending out unconditional love. And what I mean by that is it's not my joy, my peace, my love for you is not conditional upon how you react or the situation that I'm in, because I truly love you no matter what. And I am not dependent upon you or how you react to anything as far as whether I have love for you. I just have love for you. That's just the way it is. And when you come from that space of unconditional love, okay, comes from holiness is my thought. Okay, well, it depends on what you think of as holiness. That's right. And if you go into joy and you go into peace and you go into laughter and you go into love, you can't go wrong. You just can't. I mean, they're almost like I guess like a roadmap, I would say, or they're almost like the bumps on the side of the road that lets you know that you're that you're going into the other lane or about to veer off, onto the sidelines. They're like that guide that just kind of lets you know. You know what I mean? It's the way, and it's so healing for our bodies. That has been so proven. Hasn't Redefining Rich? I mean, it's so interesting about all the medical technologies that we have, surrounding us nowadays. And then they find out how just having a positive outlook and stepping into joy and laughing, how it can just heal us right there. And so it's so funny how we spend millions and billions of dollars, and all we have to do is put on a funny funny movie, and just have a good time. And then all of a sudden, we step into healing. There's a way that seems right, but is the way of death. Okay, if that's the way you come from, I just want to make sure, Shepherd Boy, that you have love, that you feel joy. That's my main thing for you. So, and it's about learning, the mind, body, spirit system that God has created for us, and how to get in tune with that. I've said before that each person is different. I know for me that when I get a pain right up here in the forehead, that's my ego that's telling me that it's scared or whatever. When I feel a pain in my gut, that's spirit telling me this is probably not the right thing for you. When I get that little tickles, or it almost feels like a little fire on my shoulders, that's when I know that spirit is like, yes, that's the one. So it's about learning those signs and getting integrated with your body, mind, spirit system that lets you know, because the way I see it, God has created these systems for us, because we have ears and we have eyes, and so the divine knows, that we have all this input coming in. So it had to come up with a way to design a way so that we would know when we were on the path to our highest good and when we weren't. Well, what is an easier way to do that? Okay, thank you so much. I really do appreciate the dialogue. And Shepherd Boy, if you ever want to contact me at Facebook, The Angel Encourager, I completely open myself to that, and I will definitely, correspond with you in any way, and have a great appointment, okay? I really appreciate you tuning in today. So, it's really about learning, tuning into that system, and, knowing the different signs and that type of thing, and it's about, thank you, my friend. It's something you just have to kind of, I don't even know really how to explain it. It's just something you have to really kind of play with. It's something you have to, and I guess the way that is you can ask the universe to show you signs, and you can just kind of recognize, okay, when I'm in joy, what happens in my life? When I'm in fear, what happens in my life? And just notice those differences. Notice that when you're in joy, you find your car keys. When you're in joy, you find the parking space. When you're in joy, you don't stumble on that, or if you stumble on that rug, you catch yourself, or yes, play is not, absolutely. And notice that when you're in fear, you start surrounding yourself with people that are in fear, and shop clerks start being mean to you, and you start, losing money, and all kinds of, so just kind of recognize how just the whole flow of the universe works. You can some people even have journals where they write down, today I felt this way and this is what happened. I mean, you can totally call upon the universe to show you signs of how different things work for you. I mean, that's I am very much about angels on the street, and what I mean by that is I call forth them to bring their energy and to help me with things, and I expect a result. I mean, I tell them I expect a result. In fact, when I work with clients, I have what I call 100% angelic money back guarantee, and that means that if the client is not completely happy with the service they've gotten, with the messages that I get through the angels, then they get all their money back. And I tell the angels that. I tell them, we need to deliver value today, because whenever I work with a client, it's never coming from Pete. It's coming, through the messages of the angels that are coming from a higher source, to the client. And so that's, like I say, it's angels on the street with me. It's in my everyday walk. It's when I can't find my car keys. It's when I'm looking for a parking space. It's like when I'm trying to figure out what to do for lunch. It's even like today when I wanted to talk on this subject. Last night, I told them, I said, I want to be able to talk about the difference between angels and demons and what that means, and be able to help people to understand from my viewpoint and how you want me to express it, what that means. And I wasn't even, hi sweetie, how you doing, Mathena? And so I really wasn't even really quite sure exactly what I was going to talk about today. So I let myself sleep in. I took a nice long walk. I took myself out to a nice breakfast. I had my iPad with me, and all of a sudden, all these knowings started coming to me, and I started doing research, in the Bible and that kind of thing. And so it was great how things just started to flow, because I did extreme self-care. I stepped into that expectation and that knowing that I was going to be inspired with what to say today, and I absolutely do feel so inspired. So, Matheny, we were talking about how to tell whether things are from the angels or whether it's demonic, and it's all about the feeling of what is expressed. When you get those messages, is it coming from love, or is it coming from fear and doubt and worry? Does it include judgment or shame, or is it uplifting us and pulling us forth? Which way is it? And it can be a little bit of a fine line, because at very first, a lot of times your ego gets involved, because anytime anything changes, even if it's for the good, your ego doesn't like it, because your ego wants to stay in that safe space of where you are, even if you're not happy. So anything that calls you forth can sometimes kind of hurt your ego a little bit, and that can feel bad. So it's recognizing what part is where my ego is not feeling great, and what part of it is where spirit is giving me divine guidance. And so that's usually the biggest trick about learning about your body, mind, spirit connection, and which way. I'm so glad you needed to hear this. That's fantastic. So does anybody have any questions today, or anything that they would like me to discuss? Because I'm working on some different programs. I'm working on some different books. I would love to know, like I say, angels on the streets, what is the information that people are really looking for? And you can even tell me about this. Son's birthday, so I have to get ready, but had to see your face. Oh, and happy birthday to him. And Mathena, I'm so glad. I loved your post about what had happened the other day and how you were putting out love. That is so fantastic. It's like stepping into that love and stepping into that joy and stepping into that peace. No matter what, you can turn anything into an opportunity to express love. And you did just the right thing, and I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of you, and I am sending out so much love to you. Yes, yes, yes. Amazing, amazing woman. Yes, happy birthday. Yay. Everybody say happy birthday. I love it, love it, love it. So, does anybody have anything else that they want me to talk about today, or anything that they want to express, or anything like that? Or I might be able to do a quick reading or two. I've got some other things to work on, because I've got some programs I definitely want to work on today. But I so wanted to touch base with you guys and see how everybody was doing today, and really just kind of express what the angels through me wanted to express about what is angelic power, what's demonic power, and what that really means. Son brought an Archangel Michael pocket shield for his birthday. Yes! I love that. I love that. And that's so fantastic. Makeup Maniac, you would like one? That's fantastic. Yes, and remember, Mathena, we did call forth Archangel Michael for you for protection, so that's fantastic, and he is amazing. All right, so Makeup Maniac, what would be a topic or a subject that you would like for me to do a reading for you today? A career change. Okay. I love it. Redefining Rich, if you will remind me when we're finished with this one, okay? And I haven't even pulled my cards out this morning, so let's pull these out. They should be nice and fresh, having rested overnight. By the way, do y'all think this color looks good on me? What do you think about this color? This kind of limey green kind of thing going on. Anybody have any comments on that? Is this not my color? Do I look like a lobster? I'm getting for you a 4-card story pool today. Oof. And I'm almost jittery, y'all, with the energy I'm getting today. This is amazing energy today. I'm still kind of learning how to get into the new energy that's been passed on to me. I still feel kind of shaky, which is just kind of normal when you've been given some more energy. Okay. So your first card is the clear audience. This is for Makeup Maniac on Career Change. Your first card is clear audience. So it's so much about you just kind of like listening to the signs and that you're being given inside your head, the signs and the guidance that is really coming to you right now. It's about you being in tune with that. The second one is this You Are Safe card. This You Are Safe card, that's with Archangel Michael. So what they're telling me is that you are protected in whatever way that you really wish to go. That this is really, I feel that you feel. I'm not sure if it's you're concerned about staying where you want to stay, or if you're concerned about moving on to the next. But they just want you to know that you're held in a place of safety in either situation. All is well. The next one for you is the Indigo and Crystal Children card. Now this one usually for me, and I'm getting it is, this one is about, not necessarily about children, but really taking back that childlike wonder. I really get the idea that you're really kind of bored with where you are, and the idea of something new is really kind of exciting to you, but it almost seems like this sort of new adventure where you don't really feel like you would not be the expert. It almost feels like you feel like what's the word? You feel like you would walk in almost being like the newbie, and that's making you kind of a little bit off kilter, because you're probably very staid where you are, and you know everything that's going on, but it's extremely boring, and you're wanting to get into something new, but at the same time, I would be an instructor for students. Does it feel like, would it feel like something that you'd have to kind of like start all over again in, and that's just kind of spooky to you because you're in a space where you already kind of know what's going on? And I completely understand that's exactly what, okay, that's what I'm kind of getting for you. The last card is the You Know What to Do card. So what this is telling me is you know in your heart of hearts what it is that's going to make you happy. And that's what it's all about. You absolutely know. And then know that when you cross that bridge from one space to another, it's completely up to it's up to your own vibration of what you can handle. In other words, if you have the faith that you can jump from one to the next, you are protected. But if you're feeling kind of wonky, then take a little baby step to it. Maybe do it just part-time or something like that. It's completely in your ballpark, in your own vibration of what makes you safe, what makes you feel that you can do. I mean, anything you can be, do, or have anything you want. In other words, you can walk out right now today and go do that full-time, and you're going to be fine if that's the expectation and the belief level that you have. But if you're not quite there, there's no judgment in that. You can so slowly step into it. It's wherever you are, and the angels are there to protect you, keep you safe, and guide you along that way as long as you stay in joy. Did that help you, my dear? Did that help you? I hope it did. I think you were saying that it did. So I'm really excited for you in the career change. They just want you to know it's completely up to you, and just for you to follow that guidance, to know that you're safe, and that you really do know what it is that you need to do at this point. Thank you, my darling. Thank you so much. And we want to know all about what happens. You can contact me at Facebook at The Angel Encourager when you're overthinking something, or it's your angels communicating with you. Well, for me, it's usually a pain right here. When I have a pain right here, or I have confusion in my mind, it means that I'm overthinking. When it's simple and it's just kind of like, I just know what to do, that's when the angels, because it's supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be up to our effort or our pushing it through. It is through our action, but it's through our easy action. Children's book, good. That's okay. Excellent. We will do that for you right now, Miss Redefining Rich. We will absolutely. And I love that you're redefining rich. I would love to know more about that. I think that's fantastic. Okay. Let's see what we got. And if y'all are wondering what I'm doing when I do this right here, I have a box filled with what I call angelic charge gems, and it just kind of resets the cards, kind of expels the energy from the last reading, gets them ready for the next one. So that's what I'm doing, in case anybody wonders. So we want to know, for Redefining Rich, whether writing a children's book is a good idea or not. And I'm feeling for you a 4-card pull as well. I've been doing a lot of 4-card pulls there lately. It's interesting. got for you, my dear. I'm excited. Can't wait to see what we got here. Huh. Okay. All right. So this is about writing children's books. So your first card is the victory card. So this is so much talking about how you've really been asking for this. You've been asking for this a lot. You've been casting up prayers. You've been casting up your desires to all that is, to the divine. And it's about letting you know that those answers are right now surrounding you. The energy that you need, the modalities, the people, the relationships, everything that you need is right there at your door, waiting for you to walk through in faith. Through what I think of as like a doorway filled with flames, which is your fear, just walking through that into the other side, in that faith, through joy. So it's about you knowing that that is so possible for you. The next one is the angel therapy card, and it's so much about you just realizing that power is there with you, that the energies are there with you, and allow the angels to give you the inspiration. Call forth Archangel Gabriel, who's the archangel who deals with, I call her the muse. And the reason I say that is she so gives me ideas of new ventures and new things that I can create, especially in creative works, with writing or music or anything like that. She very much is the patron saint of, or the patron angel that works with people that are creators, people that are creating new works of art in any form that is, whether it's acrylics, oils, music, writing, whatever it happens to be, any type of creative work. So call forth Archangel Gabriel. That's who I'm really feeling right now for you to help you, give you those new ideas of what to do. How about Uriel? Uriel actually is a great one to call forth. He's very much the energy. I think of him as the energy angel. He deals with the different energy aspects of nature. When I say that, it's like lightning, and it's about actual electricity, and it's about movement. It's about like the waves of the ocean. It's about the flowing of the stream, and that type of thing. And Archangel Uriel is also a great business archangel, because he's one that takes like situations, like things that you see as obstacles and challenges, and turns them around into opportunities, gives you new ways of redefining things so that you can find new ways of bringing things forth. And so that's actually a very great archangel to call forth in any kind of business venture. Fantastic. So absolutely. The next one is spiritual understanding, and this one is so much about you really kind of recognizing signs and symbols that are coming to you. These can be like repeated number sequences, or it can be, I have a friend that sees hearts everywhere she goes. It can be, whatever it is, just to watch for the signs and symbols that are really kind of giving you new understandings and new modalities. And even with a children's book, I mean, think of the different like motifs that are in there. There's each one has like its own little thing, whether it's a particular kind of animal or a central theme. Feathers, yes, absolutely, yeah, something like that, and perhaps you might incorporate that into a children's book. That's completely up to you, but just to kind of watch for those things to give you inspiration. So right now I'm really feeling for you, it's a lot about like inspiration, really kind of getting you going. I'm not sure how far you are in your children's books. And the next one is about teaching and learning, and what they really want you to know right now in this is that as you're writing these children's books, not only are you going to be, and I get that, that's why Archangel Gabriel came forth, because it's so much at the beginning. What they want you to know as you're writing these children's books is not only are you going to be teaching these children something, because I get from you that you're not wanting to do this something for entertainment. You're really wanting to have some kind of a central theme where you're really calling these children forth, to know who they are and to step into joy in every moment. But realize that you're going to be learning as you teach. So I want you to be really kind of open to that, and I want you to bring in new ideas that you have, and learn how to take some of the more esoteric and like higher minded ideals and how you can really introduce that to children. Because so many times we really kind of dumb down things for kids, and kids are so smart, especially the new children that are coming in. They can sit down at a computer and dash something out in 5 seconds that would take us 3 years of training to be able to do. They're so smart, they're so intuitive, they're so in click, and before society really has the chance to really kind of make them not really quite as smart, not as in tune, as kids, they are there, they know this stuff. So they're really telling me right now for you to you to go out and you to learn new things, and then in your own special, beautiful way to find a way to interpret it in such a way that kids can get it and they can intune it in themselves, and it can just be part of them, and then they can grow forth. And I'm so excited about that, because think about how you are affecting the new generation, and how you can just with the beautiful creative works that you get to do, that's going to bring you such joy and value to do, how that is going to affect an entire new generation of children out into the world. And think about just the DNA of that, how you're spreading your DNA out into the world, and you're spreading your message out there, because each one of those children is going to affect somebody else in that special way with the message that you help them learn. So I'm really, really super, super excited for you, and I would love to know more about what you do. Of course, like I say, please contact me, on Facebook at The Angel Encourager. I also ask anybody that's interested if you would like to join my newsletter. It's free. I have one coming out tomorrow, and as a matter of fact, I have no idea what it's going to be on. They have not. Oh, great! They have not told me who is going to come forth or what the teaching is going to be on. So they need to do some fast work, because I need to know what they want me to teach on. Going to be really interesting. As a matter of fact, maybe it might be on something with the angels and demons. That might be a really fascinating one to do. I'm not sure which archangel would come forth. So I don't know. I'm going to have to just kind of meditate on that and see who comes forth. So does anybody else have any kind of a question or reading they would like for me to do for them today? I'm completely open to helping anyone that would like for me to. If anybody had asked, I have not been really watching the chats too much, so that I could concentrate more on the reading for Redefining Rich. And darling, I'm hoping that brought great value to you. I always tell the archangels that I really kind of expect for them to bring great value in any kind of work that they have me do. That's why we're here, is to help others, and to like I say, seeing who you are and calling you forth. So does anybody else have any questions or anything like that, or anything that I can do for them? Anything that you'd like to ask, or anything like that? They delivered for me. Awesome. I love it. Alrighty. Well, yes, absolutely. I'm so excited for you. And y'all keep me updated with what you're doing and what happens for you. I'll probably be on a couple more times today with some interesting, we'll see what the archangels want me to really bring forth. Maybe energy from a business partner, and I want to cut them off. Okay? Well, it's so much about staying in your joy and staying in your space, because this is what happens. So, when you walk in, but afraid it will look bad business-wise. If you walk in with joy, let me put it this way, okay? So few people right now are mindful that if you walk into a space, any kind of a situation, with a clear, focused intention upon what you want, and you don't let anybody knock you off that intention, you walk into that room, the clear, focused intention of this is going to be the result of today. Because so few people are mindful, and they're just reacting. They're reacting to all the situations that come around them, and they're not staying focused. If you stay focused, 99 to 100% of the time, it's going to go your way. And that's the great thing about being mindful right now. And it's not a hidden secret. It's something I tell everybody. So it's so much about you stepping into joy, about you defining exactly what you want, because you can call forth anything that you want, and you walking into that space. And one of two things will happen. When you walk and you stay in a state of joy, that person either has to step into joy with you or go away. Because you know how it is. If you're ever in a bad mood and you walk into a space and somebody's just bouncing around all happy, you can't even stand to be around them. You know what I mean? You have to leave. You either have to get up on their level or you have to leave. It's one or the other. Just make sure you don't lean over to pick them up. Because when you lean over, when you start lowering your vibration, when you start trying to get down to where they are, they're going to pull you off kilter. Like Abraham Hicks says, you can't get sick enough to make someone well. You can't get sad enough to make someone happy. You can't get poor enough to make someone wealthy. All you can do is shine your light, stay in your joy, and call people forth. And then it's up to them if they come forth or not. You take care of your stuff, you let them take care of theirs. Because when you try to take care of their stuff, what you're saying is, I'm facilitating you, and you are not powerful enough to take care of your stuff. And then what happens is they just get used to you taking care of their stuff, and they never learn how to take care of their stuff. And then you've stripped the power from them. And that's really not love. I mean, I know it sounds like love, but it really isn't love. Love is for you to stay in your joy, in your peace, and in your love, and call them forth to step up to you or go away. And that's their thing and not yours. There's no judgment, there's no shame, but there's, the only other thing that'll happen is they'll just knock you off kilter, and then you're going to be pissed off because they made you sad. So nobody's going to be happy, and that's not, at least make one of you happy, and that's you. That you're the only one that you can control, and that's what you can do. So it's all about that. So I hope that helped. I have so much love for each and every one of you, and that is so honestly expressed, and that love comes through me from the angels and from God to you. So I want you to just feel that envelope, that warmth of love that comes through me from the angels to you, and I want you to envelop yourself in that all day long. Know that you are always felt that. See, so when you feel vibrations, yes, absolutely. And that's what's happening for me right now. I'm being called up to a higher vibration, and I'm feeling really jittery here lately because it's like the mind, body, spirit system has to kind of get used to that new energy. Same thing happened to me last June, and it's happening. And I called it forth. I've been asking them for more energy, and gosh darn it, they're doing it. They're sending me more energy. So hopefully within a month or so, I'll be used to it, and I can handle it. But right now, I'm accepting of it, and I'm taking extreme self-care of myself. I'm making sure that I'm eating properly. I'm exercising right. I'm getting more sleep, and I'm just stepping into joy in every moment that I can. And part of stepping into joy is connecting with all of you beautiful people and expressing the great love that I have to you from the angels and from myself personally. So, love, peace, and release to all of you. Hope to see you later today.